Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, perfect. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube. This is the first visual podcast that you guys have seen. Yes, this is the first time I'm doing In the City Live featuring me, your host, Diamond Jones. Today's episode is gonna be a bit of a free thought. We're just gonna go and talk about things that, you know, have recently been on my mind. And I want to first start off with obviously what I captioned the title as: comparison is the killer of joy. And I think in that statement alone, you guys can find a lot of wisdom from that. But personally speaking, why I wanted that to be the first topic is because recently in my life, I've made a transition. I've gone from doing what I know will guarantee me stability, so working a full-time job, going to work every day, doing this, doing that, doing things that just didn't make me happy, but I know, like, in the end, I would come back after 2 weeks with a check in my account and I wouldn't have to worry about bills or anything. Mind you, I'm not like a reckless spender. I don't overindulge in anything. Like, I do enough just to keep myself at peace. Like, when I was working, I tried to work and have fun as well, so I would take vacations here and there. I was actually just starting to travel recently this year, but of course I'm not traveling anymore because I don't have the funds to do it. I do want to travel. Like, I want to go to Houston in October, and I want to do something for my birthday coming up in February. Like, I really want to go out of the country again. Like, just being in Paris was so fun. I know there's an epidemic going on right now, so shout out to all my people in Paris. I hope you guys are okay right now. I hope that you guys are well and that it ends very soon. I know that that can be strenuous on anybody's life. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. It's apparently like a bed bug pandemic. But my question is, how is there a bed bug pandemic going on in Paris and they just had Paris Fashion Week? So everybody that attended Paris Fashion Week got bed bugs? Make it make sense, okay? Alright, we're just gonna zoom a little bit closer. There we go. And yeah, so back to the topic. And so while I was working, I did what I need to do. Like, I paid my bills, I tried to be a responsible adult, but in the end I decided, like, okay, I want to do what makes me happy. I like digital media, I like filming, I like social media, I just like creating things, and I love entertainment, and I have dreams of becoming a superstar. So I'm like, sitting here at this 9-to-5 job is not going to get me any closer to that. Like, I just need to be boots on the ground and have faith that it all works out in the end. But along that journey, it's like you see all these people starting to rise. Like, you've got Ice Spice, you've got Central C, you've got Sexy Red, you've got people like Kai Sine. Is that how you say your last name? I'm so sorry, Kai. I actually really love you, Kai. I love your videos. Like, I just love your personality, and we're gonna get into that later, but I just want to say, like, him, Sexy Red, they are two people right now that I just really like have grabbed my attention, and I love watching their videos. Like, I love just seeing things about them because I love the energy that they give out. But you see those people and you see like how they're rising to fame and rising to stardom, and they're in the leagues with people who are like top-notch echelon stars: Cardi B, the Migos, Nicki Minaj. Like, you see them collaborating with all these big names, Drake, and you think to yourself, as somebody beginning, like, I'm never gonna get there. Like, I'm never gonna be where they are. And I want to tell you guys that it's not true. Like, everybody has to start somewhere, and where you start may not be as high as their starting point, but it also might not be as low as somebody else's. Like, for me, I was lucky enough to be able to afford a decent enough camera to make quality videos and not have to solely rely on my iPhone at the time. But even then, like, I feel like there are some people who like make it work with even more limited resources than what I have. Like, I don't know anybody. I don't have any type of connections for anybody to put me on. So I just have to walk by faith and hope that what I produce gains the attention of the audience that I'm trying to reach. And I'm trying to reach people like you guys. Like, the videos I make are for people who are just regular people in life, like trying to do more for themselves, trying to evolve, like continuously learning and trying to improve on themselves. Like, that's something that I stand on. That's one of the big things in my life. Like, I never want to be the same person I was 2 days ago, a week ago, or a year ago. Like, I always want to be a better version of myself. Like, every day I wake up and I ask myself, like, how can I do better? What more can I do to improve the circumstances that I'm in? And the only thing that I could come up with is to keep trying. Like, you have to keep trying and not focus on what's going on for other people and count other people's blessings. Like, you have to focus on you. And it reminds me actually of the book that I read. It was Rich Dad Poor Dad. And for those of you who haven't read it, it's actually a really good book. It's about finances, of course, but it has a lot of life takeaways that you could get from it. Just regular, or not regular, broad knowledge that anybody can take from and apply to all areas of their life. And one of the things that he said that always sticks with me and like always like kind of plays in a loop in my head here and there is, mind the business that pays you. And he kept emphasizing, like, mind your own business, mind your own business. And what I took from that was that you can't go through life thinking that you're gonna get what the next person has. Like, in a way that's almost kind of like you want what's theirs. You're trying to take what's theirs. You're trying to take their glory. You're trying to take... Why would you want to take what's someone else's when you could have something that's completely yours, your own thing? And in order for you to do that, you have to focus on you. Focus on your talents. Focus on what makes you great in life and not compare yourself to other people. Like, I like to write. You've probably, or probably not, have seen videos where I share some of my writing, or I try to freestyle. And I know, like, I'm not the most lyrically gifted person. I'm not spitting out rhymes like Little Kim and Left Eye. And I know I'm not the next Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey or Ariana Grande, or maybe I am, but maybe I just haven't gotten to that point yet. But it all takes time. Like, even in my acting and what I want to do with acting and theater, like, I love acting. I love just putting on personas, and I have a big personality when I'm in my comfort zone, like when I'm away from others and I just am allowed to be myself freely. Like, I have a bold personality, and I want to show that to you guys. Like, I want to be able to show that and present that side of me on camera. But I know that in order for me to enter rooms and to enter doors and to gain opportunities where I can do that, and where I can work on those skills and get better and work with other creators and other talented individuals and gain the knowledge that they have, is by putting myself out there and not being fearful of the things or the skills or the talent that I don't have. Like, what does beating yourself down do other than discourage you from taking the next step? And for me, that's like been a big thing in my life right now, just trying not to let the self-doubt cripple me and keep me from progressing, because I know that with time, like, You can only get better. And if you don't get better, at least you gain some type of knowledge from that experience. And that's why I keep saying to you guys, like, take these seasons in life for what they are. Like, if you're going through a period in your life where you feel like you're just super confused, like me right now, like I feel like I'm super confused and I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm taking this season with stride because I know that what's going to be produced after it will be for the betterment of me. And I know that like sounds good, and it's actually like very, very hard. Like, if I can be really candid with you, I feel like shit sometimes. Like, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is check my phone, check the analytics of my videos and my social media pages, and I see how low the numbers are. And I try and do things like I try to make an Amazon storefront for influencers where I can like market and make lists for you guys and share what I like. And they were like, no girl, your profile does not have enough subscribers, you're not influencing anybody, so try again later. And I had to accept it, and I had to be like, okay, I'm not at that stage yet, but guess what, when the time comes and when I get to that, I'm gonna think back on that moment when I was turned down and turned away, and then I'll realize just how far that I've come. But if I stop now, if I allow this small setback to keep me from going, then it will never be a day where I can actually say, oh my gosh, I've made it, or oh my gosh, I've accomplished this goal, because I would have never given myself the chance to get there. I wouldn't have never seen how far I could come if I stopped with the last video, or if I never even gave YouTube another chance. Because if you guys didn't know, I used to have a YouTube channel a long time ago. Like, I'm talking like 2013, like when I was young. I used to have a YouTube channel, and I quit after one bad comment. I quit, but that's because I wasn't prepared to be where I know I'm headed. I wasn't ready yet. And sometimes when you feel like you're not ready, it's okay to take a step back and be in that period of isolation. That's what I was getting at. That period of isolation. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy finding the will to make a video every day. It's not easy to get glam, put on makeup, try and dress up. Like right now, I did a face full of makeup, and I was listening to worship music to encourage me to do this, because it is so easy just to sit in my PJs and literally go to sleep and nap the whole day away. Like, that's what I've literally been doing in the beginning of me leaving my job and becoming unemployed. Like, I would literally just sleep because I was just so defeated, like within myself. I was so discouraged. But you have to shake that off. Like, nothing is going to motivate you other than yourself. And I know you don't want to hear that. I know that you want to hear that one day you'll just wake up and everything will be better, but it won't. Like, that's not the reality of things. Sometimes you have to do what is best for you even when you don't feel like it. Like, I know what's best for me in this moment is to create videos. I want to grow my platform. I want to be able to be on screen and hopefully be amongst some of the names and people that I admire right now. And the only way for me to do that is to keep trying. Like, Zendaya didn't get where she was by just waking up and breathing. Like, no, she had to work for it. Nobody wants to work. What Kim said, nobody wants to work. But in terms of that, it's not just working and being at your best. It's working when you're not at your best too. Like, you have to push through that glass ceiling. And I've been reading that a lot in self-improvement books. Like, you're gonna get to a place where you just feel stuck. Like, you feel like, I can't do anything. Like, I simply can't do anything. Like, no matter how I turn the situation, no matter which way I paint the picture or look at it or roll it up, like, I'm just stuck in a place where I feel like I'm crawling but I'm sinking, and like quicksand. Like, no matter how much I fight against the wave, it just keeps pulling me down and down and down. But you have to keep going, guys. You have to keep going. There's nothing that's gonna push you out of that other than perseverance. I'm telling you, like, I feel like I'm finally coming out of that dark cloud after so many weeks and so many months of just feeling not at my best. And the only reason is because every day I woke up hoping that it would be a better day, but also trying, even if it was something small. Like, if I couldn't make a full video, or if I couldn't get glammed up, I got on camera with my bonnet and scarf. Like, I got on camera with a do-rag. I got on camera at 9 p.m. and edited the video and uploaded it at 11. And I still, in that alone, I still was doing what I needed to do. Like, it wasn't easy, but I knew that if I kept trying, and if I gave myself the excuse that I don't feel my best, or I don't look my best, or I'm not, or nobody's watching and my videos aren't reaching the audience that I want to reach, then I could have simply gave up and just stayed where I was. But no, I kept saying to myself, like, but you never know, this might be the next one, this might be the next one, this might be the next one. And in these seasons where you're feeling like this, guys, you have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your biggest supporter. Even if no one believes in you, you have to believe in yourself. You have to encourage yourself, because I'm telling you guys, nobody will. People will discourage you quicker than they will encourage you, and that's the truth. Like, that's the genuine truth. There are so many people who are ready to shoot your dreams down and shatter them and leave you in a place that is dead, and where no growth happens, and where you're just stuck and you're miserable and you're just going through the days like you're in motion, but you're not really there. Like, if I could describe it, it feels like you're on autopilot. And that's kind of what I was on. Like, I was on autopilot. Like, I was going through the motions of life. Like, I would wake up and I would just be awake. Like, I would be awake, but I wouldn't be processing anything. I wouldn't be emotionally aware of what was going on with anyone or myself. I wasn't trying to connect with family or friends. I wasn't doing any of those things, and I simply just had to keep going through it until I got out of it. Like, when you're stuck in hell, you don't stay there. You keep going until you get out of it. And if you're in a place where you're stuck, then I will say, if you have, like, for me, I'm thankfully lucky enough to be a 20-year-old that lives with her mom, who is so supportive. Like, I know there are some people who are trapped in households where they're just completely toxic and they just don't have the freedom to be their true self. And oh my gosh, like, I pray that the day will come when you're free from that. But I've been so blessed to live in a home where my mom knows when to, like, give me the space to just breathe and grow. And, like, even when I'm going through, like, dark moments, she'll check on me, of course, and she'll, like, be concerned, and she'll try and, like, oh, like, maybe we should talk, or maybe you should call your dad and talk to him. And I'll be like, no, like, I'm fine, I'm good. It's just, I need to go through this. Like, I need to process these emotions. Like, it won't do me any justice by burying them and pretending like they don't exist. Like, I just need to feel them in the time that they're coming, and then once they've been felt and once they've been dealt with, then I move on. And that's another thing, guys. Like, when things happen in your life, there is a moment and a time where you just have to be willing to forgive it. I think that's so important when it comes to growth. Like, you have to be willing to learn to let things go. Like, there are moments in my life where I, like, cringe at the thought of all the people that I've tolerated or dealt with, and all the situations that I've been in that have brought me down, like, to lower places, and just really messed with my mind and self-confidence. And I think about those times, and, like, it just physically kind of makes me nauseated to think of them. But then I also, like, get past it. Like, I'm like, okay, this is just a fleeting memory. Like, I'm not in those days anymore. Like, I let them pass. Like, I don't linger on them anymore. And that has been so, I don't know what the word is. Like, it has been so productive to the betterment of my mental health and just the betterment of how I see myself. Like, I feel myself growing confident in me and more self-assured in what I can accomplish if I just try to get things done, because I don't linger and hold on to my failures or my mishaps in life. Like, they happen. You can't change them. You can't go back in time. You can't erase the memories from your mind or the other person, but you don't have to think about them. You don't have to live in them and dwell in them anymore, because I guarantee you, the people that witness them are not thinking about them anymore. They're not thinking about you. Like, you are the center of your own world. Nobody else is like thinking about you 24/7. Not like that. Like, even celebrities who have all these big fan bases, like, those people at the end of the day, they're not solely focused on that person. Like, the only person who's focused on you and all your failures and all your successes and anything that's going on in your world is you. You're the only person. So if those moments disrupt your peace, why linger on them? Why hold on to them any longer than you have to? And that's something that you can only do through practice. Like, you can only get better at not comparing yourself. You can only get better at enjoying the moment and letting go of those memories that haunt you by practicing it. Like, when they come, you practice that getting over it. You practice that, okay, like, yeah, this person has this and this, but whatever, I don't care. Like, you continue to tell yourself that and convince yourself that those things that harm you don't matter anymore and they're not of substance. And when you stop giving it control, I guarantee you, you will feel more freedom in yourself, and you will be able to express yourself in a way where others can understand and relate to you more. And that's what I want for all of you guys. Anybody that's tuning into my podcast, anybody that's watching my videos, I just want you guys to be able to hear my words and let them sink in and kind of figure out and play around with your own thought process, like what's going on in your head. Like, really sit down with yourself and say, like, okay, like, these are the thoughts that I'm experiencing all the time. Like, what do they do for me? Like, do they help me or do they harm me? And then, why am I always thinking of these things? Can I let them go? Do I need to address this with the people that, if people are involved in those thoughts? Like, I think for me, like, a great example was when I had issues with a lot of the things that went on in my childhood, and just like how it affected my self-esteem and my sexuality. Like, I couldn't go to anybody. I couldn't go to the guys who I have been with in the past and say, like, oh my gosh, you made me feel like shit. You make me feel like disgusted and discontent with sex and the experience of intimacy. Like, now I kind of, like, I've gotten to a point where, and this is so true, guys, I don't even want to be physical in relationships anymore. Like, moving forward, I actually want to abstain from sex and wait till marriage, wait till I find my life partner, because I just feel so disconnected from my body and from that experience with another person because of how dissatisfied I was in my past experiences. Like, I felt like I was always trying to please and seek the approval of my partner, but they would never, like, having the same, extending that same courtesy to me. And so it left me feeling like defeated when it comes to that aspect of relationships and intimacy. So now I've got a different perspective on, like, sex. Like, do you really need sex for intimacy? I don't think so. Like, I feel like you actually can develop a stronger relationship if you put sex aside for a while, if you actually try and discover who that person is and find other ways to feel connected to them and make them feel loved without it always leading to sex, because this whole world is like over sexualized, and it just makes me, it corrupts my mind and how I view things. Like innocent things can become over sexualized in my head because of how much it's been exposed to me over my lifetime. And I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot what led me to that, and I forgot how I got there and why I got there in the beginning. But that's okay, because we're just gonna keep rolling with it. I'll find a lesson behind it. Oh yeah, and so I was saying, I couldn't go to those partners and be like my experience with you made that, because 100% I doubt they would receive my words and really understand what I'm saying to them. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the people I've been with are bad people at all. Like, I was thankful enough to encounter good guys that somewhat cared, somewhat, like, not everybody, but some of them. Not everybody. Not everybody. Stay away from Aquarius men. I'm gonna tell you this, as an Aquarius woman, stay away from Aquarius men. They're just dogs and they're garbage, and they really don't care. Like, they really don't care. And just stay away from men. Like, what? Like, you don't like, I can't even talk about this because I don't want to say that, and I don't want to overgeneralize the male population. But I'm just gonna say this, ladies that are watching, and even men who partake in men-to-men relationships, who have male partners, like, protect your peace above all else. And sometimes you don't get that gratification of going to that person and relieving that anguish that you felt through those experiences, but you have to be willing in you to say, like, okay, I forgive you. Like, I forgive you, and I forgive myself for allowing myself to go through those things. I forgive myself for experiencing it, and I'm glad that I've been able to learn, because you know what I tell myself? I actually had a conversation with myself once, and I told myself, like, I'm actually so glad that I experienced what I experienced, and I went through what I went through in terms of love and dating and the naiveness, like putting myself out there and like truly caring for men who did not care about me and did not reciprocate that love and care and kindness and consideration. Because now when I see my loved ones going through that and experiencing that, I can like call it out, and I can be able to offer my insight and my perspective, and I can be able to speak from experience on what that can do to you and how you can overcome it. Like, when I think about that, I think about the daughters that I might have in the future, and I now know what it is she does, like what it is she deserves more than anything else. Like, you deserve a partner that cares about you, that respects your decisions, that respects your boundaries, that respects your body. And like, if you're not willing to do something, or if you have, like, what's the word, if you have not reclusions, not restrictions, like if you're apprehensive or unsure about doing some things, they won't try and convince you why you should. They will try and help you figure out why it is that you have those reservations for that thing. And if it comes to like that's just something you don't want to do, then the conversation's done, it's deaded, it's ended, and they're not going to pressure you on, and they're not going to bring it up to you 30 minutes later. Like, I've had that where I say I don't want to be physical, I don't want to be intimate, I don't want to have sex, and then literally 30 minutes later they're touching me, or they're trying to like get physical, or they're trying to put their hands up my shirt or something, and it'd be like, I just said this, and then it'd get to that point where now it's like, now you're making me uncomfortable, because I don't like to be someone who has to overly enforce myself, like, and be strict or stern and put my foot down. Like, I feel like people should have the respect and courtesy. Like, if I say it, no matter how I say it, if I say it in a soft tone, because this is how I speak. Like, this is my natural tone of voice. No matter how I say something, you should take it with all seriousness, with all seriousness, because I said it. Like, those are the words that I said, and you should respect anything that I'm saying, because I respect what you're saying. And I just didn't have that a lot of times. Not even just guys, but it stopped recording, I don't know why. But not just with guys, but I've had that in friendships as well. I've had that in family relationships as well. And it just got to the point where I was like, okay, I do have to be forceful, but now I know, like, moving forward, like, not all people operate the same, or they're not mentally set up the same way as you. Like, not everybody thinks like you, not everybody holds the same morals as you or the same standards as you, and that's just life. Like, you can't do anything about it. You can't change people, and it's not your job to change people, because you're gonna beat yourself up and you're gonna drive yourself crazy trying to change people to fit you when you don't have to at all. Like, if people can respect your boundaries, if they can respect the things that you're saying, then those aren't the people for you. And sorry, I choked on my spit. But also, it doesn't mean like entirely give up on people either. It just means like you shouldn't fight as hard all the time for somebody to respect the person that you are. Like, if you feel yourself changing for other people, then get away as fast as you can, because you shouldn't have to change change in a way that makes you uncomfortable. Change and growth are two different things. Growth is when you are intentionally doing something to better yourself, but I feel like changing yourself for other people is you're doing something because you want to please them and you want to be well liked by other people, and you don't need to be liked by everybody, because guess what? Just as fast as someone can like you, they can turn on you and hate you as well. And that's why your happiness and your security and just how you view yourself should never be determined on how other people view you, because people are so fickle-minded, and how they view themselves changes every day as well. So you should never depend on others for your own peace of mind. And yeah, I really wanted to come to you guys and just have a chit chat with you guys about all of this, and be very open and honest, and tell you guys things that I feel like a lot of us in this generation needs to hear, because I worry about our generation. I worry about the fact that we have trouble expressing ourselves sincerely. Like, I feel like when anybody tries to be real about anything that they're going through or anything that they're feeling inside, like, people are like, take it to your therapist, like, save that for your journal or your book or whatever. Like, nobody wants to hear it. Like how they say when someone says, how you doing, and then you get into it, like, nobody really cares. They just wanted you to say you're good and like be on with it. But like, it's actually a real problem. Like, why can't us as young adults actually express ourselves in a way? Like, we don't even have the vocabulary or the understanding of our own language. Like, us as native speakers don't even know all the words to properly express ourselves. Like, I was just watching a video on TikTok, and this girl was talking about how her therapist said, don't just say you're sad or angry all the time. Like, there are other words behind it. And her reason for saying that was because when you symbolize your emotion to just those things, or like happy, sad, angry, and you don't consider the fact that there may be other deeper underlying emotions going on, then you limit how you can respond to those emotions and how you can react. Because she was saying in her video that I actually wasn't sad about what happened, I was humiliated. And sadness and humiliation are two different emotions. Like, when you feel humiliated, you know that someone isn't respecting you. You know someone is viewing you as a joke, and they don't view you with the common human decency that you deserve. And that doesn't make you sad. It shouldn't make you sad. It should make you, for me, it would make me pissed off. Like, your humiliation deals more with like, okay, Like, now I have to show you. Now I have to show you. You play childish games, you get childish results or something. I don't know what the saying is, but you get what I mean. Like, and I feel like we all need to be able to start expressing ourselves more. We all need to, like, start creating communities where it is okay to express what you're going through as explicitly and vividly as you can possibly muster with the language and your speaking capabilities. Like, I know I don't have the biggest vocabulary, so I say like a lot, or I try and create pictures and imageries, and I try and give you guys experiences so that you understand what I'm going through, so that you can kind of connect to what I'm trying to get to and the points that I'm trying to make. But it's like, why do we shut each other down? Like, we need to be able to, like, come together and have these conversations, because if we don't, then I really fear, like, you know, they say our generation demonstrates the most signs of depression, and I feel like we're losing ourselves to drugs, and we're losing a lot of people to alcoholism, like, and it's not okay. Like, it's not okay at all. And I think my camera's about to stop recording, so I hope you guys found this video enjoyable. I hope that there was some type of meaning and depth behind my words that you guys were able to draw from. And again, as always, I look forward to the next video, the next time I see you guys and your beautiful faces, even though I can't see you. Anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. All is love, all is great, all is peace, and I wish you guys many, many blessings in whatever you do in life, and stay true to who you are. Don't let nobody change you. All right, talk to you later. Peace.